Hi everyone, I'm Josh Hawkridge, and today I'm going to talk you through my project, Shape. It's a journey that started with research in human-centered design and ended with a bold, speculative visual identity for Falmouth University School of Arts degree show. The first 5 weeks were all about understanding my audience. I wanted to know who I was designing for and what they needed before making anything visual. This meant looking into human centered design, asking the right questions, and making sure the project was shaped by real user needs rather than just personal taste. So, human centered design is simple at its core. You basically just put people first. Instead of thinking, what do I want to make? You ask, what do they need? By focusing on people's experiences and motivations, you end up with something that feels more relevant and meaningful. To dig deeper, we used empathy mapping. This helped me think about what my audience sees, hears, thinks, and feels. It's a way of stepping into their shoes and understanding their emotions, not just their surface needs. One method I found really useful was start with one. Instead of trying to design for everyone, I imagined one person who represented my target audience. It's much easier to make design decisions when you're thinking about a real individual, even if they're a fictional mix of all your research. One of my projects was the Hobby Hub app. It was aimed at people aged between 45 and 55, dealing with burnout, mental health challenges, and desire for change. The idea was to connect people through new hobbies and shared interests with a community feature to help them meet like minded individuals. From this, I learned how to research a specific audience, understand their challenges, and design something that generally meets their needs. The second half of the project focused on creating a speculative visual identity for the Falmouth University School of Arts degree show. It needed to work both in person and online across posters, websites, and social media. Because it was a speculative brief, I had the freedom to experiment while still making sure the identity was clear, flexible, and engaging. Understanding the brief is essential. The School of Arts has over a century of creative history, covering courses like fine art, drawing, illustration, and visual communication. The degree show is a huge celebration for graduating students and a chance to inspire future ones. My challenge was to design an identity that captures this creative energy and could be adapted across multiple formats. So, for this part of the module, I was actually in Falmouth. I wanted to gather some research firsthand. When I was walking around, I took some notes, um, trying to develop a visual language. I thought of a few questions to ask, like what visual styles are you most drawn to? What grabs your attention? What aesthetic do you associate with Falmouth? I ended up going towards the palm tree and subtropical gardens route. I spoke with my brothers, who fall within the target demographic, as well as my mother and stepfather, who represent the visitor group. I asked them a few open ended questions to get a general sense of their expectations and preferences. Their responses gave me helpful insight into how different audiences might experience the degree show and what kind of visual direction would feel engaging and appropriate. This input helped me start thinking more clearly about tone, style, and how to make the design feel accessible and relevant to a wider audience. I put together a small mood board to guide the aesthetic direction for the design. The overall style, color palette, and visual tone was shaped by the questionnaire results. Posters shown here are by Emma Beers and Bruelu Amado. This experimental visual direction feels like a strong fit for the project, with its bold, playful, and handcrafted approach, helping capture and communicate the creative energy behind the concept. So, during my research, I found this article on It's Nice That about a design studio called Companion Platform. It was founded by Lexi Viasco and Calvin Rocchio, and their work is led by an ecological mindset. They spend a lot of time outside observing nature and use these observations to inspire their design. Instead of chasing attention online, they think about something that they call attention ecology, basically how we focus and engage with our surroundings. Their influences included wildlife guidebooks, experimental music, and nature focused films. All of these help them design in a way that gently guides attention rather than overwhelming it. What I took from this is that design can be deeply connected to a place and observation. It's not always about trends, it can be about slowing down, paying attention, and creating work that has real connection to the world around us. I think this is a perfect direction for me to take my deliverables for this project. I made a prototype for a poster design based on the research and feedback I had gathered. This process gave me a lot of freedom to experiment and try out different concepts. I wanted to explore a mix of digital and hand-drawn visuals, so I used a marker pen and crayons to draw palm trees and subtropical plants by hand, and then layered them into a digital poster design. This approach allowed me to see how hand-drawn textures and digital elements could work together visually. The outcome still needed quite a bit of refining, but I was really excited about the direction it was heading and looked forward to developing it further. These are my final outcomes from the project, and I'm really happy with how it all came together. I used the palette that came from the questionnaire and feedback that I got from my audience. I wanted to make sure the colours actually connected with people, and honestly, it made a big difference. Suddenly, the drawings felt more alive, and it was easier to imagine how someone could actually respond to them. Looking at all the work now, I feel like everything fits together nicely. The pieces all share the same style and feel, so even though they're different, they look like they belong to the same project. There's a consistency there that makes the whole thing feel polished and complete. If I had to pick a favourite, it would probably be the website layout. I just love how everything flows, the drawings and the colours, and the layout all works together in a really balanced way. This project has taught me a lot along the way, and I've realised how important it is to actually listen to feedback, to think carefully about creative choices, and to make sure everything feels consistent. It's not just about making something look nice, it's about making something that feels right for the audience too. Seeing all the pieces come together at the end has been really satisfying, and I'm proud of the final outcomes. And I feel like I've learned so much through the whole process. Over the past 12 weeks, my design approach has changed a lot. I've moved from focusing mainly on how things look to really thinking about the people I'm designing for. I've learned to slow down, research more deeply, and use empathy to guide my ideas. The workshops and lectures taught me the value of asking better questions and prototyping early, and improving through feedback. Working with others, both in person and online, showed me how a different perspective can make the final design stronger. This module has given me a clear process for combining creativity with problem solving. I now feel confident in taking a project from research to concept to delivery, knowing each step makes the design more engaging, relevant, and meaningful. Thank you.